Today we are going to be reviewing the worst legendary in Rune Slayer, also known as the Sand Shooter. This weapon is probably the worst weapon in the game. You're probably better off just using a regular greatsword over this weapon. I would even say that Goblin greatsword is better than this weapon simply because the crit is just better overall, and it's way less of a cooldown than the Sand Shooter itself. But yes, to get the Edgewing, you actually need to be level 40, and you need to go to the Beastmen camp, go inside the cave, and actually defeat the Lycanthor boss a crap ton of times. Now my friend actually did this boss 700 plus times, and he got the Sand Shooter around like maybe the 780th time or something, some crazy number like that, which is actually utterly ridiculous that you need to spend that much time to get one legendary weapon. It's actually insane. Keep in mind, guys, this was literally 2 days of non-stop farming this boss until he got the weapon. He probably went through so many turtle shells, so many other loot drops, maybe even a couple Lycanthor runes, which is supposed to be rare, more rare than the weapon itself. So this is just some crazy work going on here. Now, you think that a weapon that requires you to spend so much time grinding for would be pretty good, right? No, guys, this weapon is utter dog shit. Don't grind for this weapon at all. It is terrible. It is literally the worst weapon in the entire game. I kid you not. You are better off using any other heavy weapon than this heavy weapon right here. The crit is just terrible. It does not work. It's not practical as it once was. They need to do some major changes for this weapon to actually be viable in a PvE and a PvP standpoint, because there's another PvE weapon that's actually outdoes this weapon entirely. What exactly makes this weapon bad? Again, guys, it's just god awful. You spawn in the Sandstorm, who pretty much comes out, expands, and anything in your range takes damage. The Sandstorm doesn't really last that long for it to be noticeable, and the damage that comes from the Sandstorm is about like 0.8 to maybe like 1 damage a tick. It ticks every second, so for every second they're standing in that Sandstorm, they take damage, right? You can easily walk out of this circle. It's not very hard to do so. You can also parry it, and Sandstorm itself has no hit stun. So man, this crit is just god awful. It's actually so bad. But yes, it is nothing like the move the boss uses against you where the Sandstorm spawns and it's literally obliterating you. No, the wet version you get is literally just like a bunch of like little pellets touching you. Like it does no damage, no hit stun, no nothing. Like it's just not good at all. Let's talk about the good with this weapon. The main good thing about this weapon is that it actually has pretty high M1 damage. So if you wanted to make an M1 damage oriented build, you could with this greatsword. Thing is, there's just a better alternative to this greatsword, which is the Great Axe, which we'll talk about in another video. But yes, this greatsword has pretty good M1 damage. The crit is really bad though, so I don't think the M1 damage will make up for the crit just being so god awful. Now, if you were going to use this weapon, I would recommend you use this weapon purely for PvE and not PvP. If you're going to use this weapon for PvP, you are going to struggle because trying to get this crit off on anybody is insane. For one, the crit has insane end lag. 2, crazy startup. 3, it does no damage. Literally any other crit in the game does more damage than this crit. They need to buff this weapon's crit. They need to make the startup faster. They need to make it do more damage. They also need to give it some light hit stun. Just something, because dude, it does no damage at all. They could even make the circle bigger. Honestly, I'd probably prefer if they made the circle bigger, way bigger, and make it last longer. That way, it actually feels like you're the eye of a storm. Like something unique. I could definitely see this weapon being buffed down the line though. After I make this video, either the devs see it, maybe you guys start complaining about it because you're seeing the truth about this weapon. This weapon's pretty rare, so not many people have actually gotten their hands on it or have really seen it to really, get an idea of how strong it actually is. I'm telling you right now, if you have been trading for this weapon or have seen offers for this weapon, it is because the person who got it started using it and realized how dog shit the weapon actually was. So yes, do not try to farm for this weapon. It is terrible. It is actually so bad. But after this video, you could expect to see some maybe buffs coming along. So maybe you do want to farm for the weapon in anticipation for the buffs that are going to come inevitably, because this weapon is just very bad compared to the other legendaries in the game. Now again, guys, this weapon is, terrible and it's pretty hard to farm for. You can't really farm this weapon in a timely manner at all. Like my friend, he spent about 2 days farming for this weapon just to be greeted with absolute dog shit. So I don't recommend farming for this weapon until you see a buff, unless you're trying to get ahead of the curve in anticipation for a weapon buff on its crit or whatever they decide to do with this. Is the weapon worth it? Hell no. Do not. I repeat, do not grind for this weapon at all. Please, for the love of God, do not. You're literally better off killing the Basilisk, getting a Basilisk Great Blade, than farming for this boss's weapon. Or, even better yet, you go to hell, right? You actually kill the demons, because I know a lot of you guys haven't been doing that at all. It's like, you're probably getting your ingredients off trade or exploiters. Kill the demons, and craft yourself a fire greatsword. Demonic greatsword, whatever the name is. I think it's called demonic greatsword or something like that. Both have the same crit as the Basilisk greatsword, and it's better because it does fire damage and physical damage. But yes, these two weapons are better than the sandstorm or sand shooter, what do you want to fucking call it, by a mile. Literally by a mile. I'm gonna be so real. I know I said it was good for PvE, but I don't think it's good for PvE or PvP. Simply because there's just better options all around. I honestly think it might be just terrible in both. You're better off using other weapons. I kid you not. This weapon is just not it. Not worth the grind. Not worth the money if you're going to BM. Because I know motherfuckers like you. Some of y'all like to BM. Do not BM, by the way. But it's just not worth it, bro. Not worth the grind. Not worth the money. Not worth anything. And to think that this weapon actually sells for $40 on black market is crazy. Why are y'all buying this weapon? Why are you spending your $40 on this damn weapon, bro? Y'all are crazy. Like, even black marketers stay away from this weapon. They're trying to make a quick buck on you. They're trying to scam you guys. So yes, if you're falling victim to the black market of this weapon, it's like, oh, I'm selling legendary greatsword for 40 USD, and you bought it, bro. Oh my God, I feel bad for you, because I know someone fell for it already. I actually seen a DM before saying that they actually fell for this. I know somebody who actually bought this weapon for $40 and they were completely disappointed, bro. Oh my God, please don't do it, guys. I kid you not, please don't do it. But yes, this weapon 100% needs a buff. I hope it does get one soon, really soon, maybe in a couple days or so, especially since we just got the faction update and we got all that out of the way. Hopefully this weapon does get buffed, because it's really in need of one, for it being an endgame boss who you kill for 2 days plus with no golden fairy, by the way. No golden fairy, no luck ring. It's just a base rate. It's just too much time for what you get. What you get is utter dog shit. So at the end of it all, is this weapon worth it? No. Do you want to farm for it? No. Is it gonna PvE? No. Is it gonna PvP? No. Like, just don't even bother. This weapon's terrible. Let's go ahead and fight him. So I'm gonna pop Savage Aura, Field, pop my crit right behind him. Jump to the side so he doesn't target my guy. I'm petrified, whatever, it doesn't matter. Counter this. So yeah, this is that posture break was pretty fast, I won't even lie. So now he's poisoned. Alright, we're gonna pop the crit again. 5 HP, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4. Like, it's just not good, guys. It does no damage. That's what it is. And the startup for the initial hit is just too long. I wish it was better. Alright, Basilisk is dead. Nah, I would say this was probably like mid difficulty. Basilisk did get me down to 218 HP. As you see, the sandstorm effect does not actually heal you at all. Only the initial hit does, but the initial hit only does 20 damage. Right? The rest of the tick hits are like 0.4, which is really, really, really bad. Yeah. I think the only reason why we were able to defeat that boss pretty quickly was because my slime was poisoning it. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This weapon is a solid 4 out of 10 as a legendary. For a legendary weapon, it's a 4 out of 10. For a regular weapon, like if you were to compare it to the rest of the game, it's an easy 7 out of 10. Like, you know, it's functional and you can use it, but it's not very good. This weapon's not very good at all. Yeah, that's the sand shooter for you guys.